Hello everyone and welcome to another Aconno YouTube video. Today we have something special for you. We have an interview with a startup from Porto, Portugal, and their CFO and co-founder Nuno. So let's find out what they're all on about. Hey Nuno, first of all, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Felix.
Naturally. So Nuno, just as a quick intro, what can you tell us about yourself, about Emitu, and what motivates you guys?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Nuno. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Emitu. So Emitu is a startup that develops IoT solutions, and we are based in Porto, Portugal. And we started developing IoT solutions 4 years ago. We started using beacons as tags in an asset tracking solution for car dealerships. It was actually funny because beacons at that time were mostly used for proximity marketing, and we flipped the architecture of the solution and start using beacons as tags in asset tracking solutions. So we had a R&D that we need to develop just to make sure that everything worked as expected. And after a few months, we developed a solution, an MVP, to present to some customers. And afterwards, we started adding other features to the solution, like as the sensors can have, or the beacons can have, like sensors for temperature, humidity, or accelerometers. We started providing more value to customers, and in different verticals like logistics, to track the temperature using indoor location and temperature tracking, temperature monitoring, to track, for instance, medicine for pharmaceutical companies, in particularly at the retail level. So it was, as we evolved through this IoT ecosystem using Bluetooth devices, we ended up developing a low-code framework that help us reduce development time from weeks or months to just hours. So
that sounds really cool, Nuno.
Our story.
That's your story. No, sounds like a great story to have. So what was sort of your first point of contact with Aconno, or your first case that you did implement with Aconno?
Yes, I guess that we found out about Aconno when I was searching for devices Bluetooth devices that we could use on different applications, and in particular, on this case, we were looking for sensors that could sense temperature and as well as humidity. We ordered a few devices. We started testing the devices, and we like very much the casing, because when you place a device on an asset in an industrial setting, the device needs to be robust, because it needs to hold higher temperatures or withstand higher temperatures. It needs to also have good mechanical properties, because users are not very kind, let's put it this way, with the devices. So in an industrial settings, and the Aconno had it all: robustness, a good range of devices, a good platform that is the base of the Aconno devices, and as well as the support in terms of firmware, and whenever we need something in particular, we have the support for adding new features to the devices when we need it.
Awesome. That is great to hear. Thank you very much for that, Nuno. So lots of our viewers already know something about Aconno. They know about our devices. It would be great if you could just share with us what your solution looks like, so that we can get a feel for that. Do you have anything that you can show us or share with us today?
Yeah, sure. We can show our this application of a parking management solution using this the Aconno range. So basically, what we are using is, on each parking spot, we are using an Aconno range placed on the ceiling. And whenever a car parks into the parking spot, the Aconno range detects the height that was reduced from, let's say, 4 meters to 3 meters or something, and we detect this change, and having gateways spread out through the parking lot that scan the data that the ACN range is sent, we can in real time tell the users of that parking lot how many places are available, and which parking spot is available at that particular time.
Awesome. So thank you very much, Nuno, for explaining that solution. Now, sorry for pushing, but what does that look like in real life? What would I, as an end user or the manager of a co-working space, see if I were to deploy that car parking availability solution from Emito?
Yes, I can share our platform with you. So that if you are a user, you could just log in using your smartphone to our platform and see if you have a parking space available for your car. Otherwise, you can just try and maybe just using your bike to commute to the office, maybe more environmental friendly. Nevertheless.
For somebody lazy like me, that would be a good idea to do once in a while. Now, I agree.
And I can share my screen so you can see the actual data of real-time data on the device. I will just So you can see if the parking spot is available using the map or using a table. So it's very easy either way to know if you have like a specific parking spot to park your car. Like usually there's a pool of parking spots for a certain company. So like there are 20 employees and just 5 parking spots that are shared among the employees, and usually you can find if that pool of parking spots, if you have a place available for you, or you can see it on a table or map depending on the situation. We also have a summary where you can see the number of parking spots available at the building. Mm-hmm. So in this case, we have 18 parking spots occupied and 13 available. So I guess you can bring your car, Felix, now.
Awesome, that sounds good. So where do the ACN ranges come into play?
Yes, on each parking spot we placed ACN range. On this, you can see like the number. I will show you the number of ACN ranges that we are using. So you can see that all those devices, a list of devices being that we use, and in this case, every time that the ACN range detects that a car is parked, they send data, and our gateways collect it and send it to the cloud.
Awesome. Now that looks like a real good tool to also be managing quite a number of devices, right?
Yes, we usually, and if you move to like applications or solutions where you can have like thousands of devices, you need a good way to manage, or a good method to manage your fleet of devices. So we have like, for instance, whenever a device is not being detected by a malfunction or battery, we can receive instantly a notification, and the manager of that fleet, let's put it this way, can receive instant alerts if anything is wrong with any device, either at the battery level or at any other type of malfunction.
Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing the Emito platform with us. Now, aside from facility managers for co-working spaces, who else would be interested in taking a look at your solution, and who else would you be able to provide value for?
Sure. So we develop using beacons. We develop solutions, for instance, for car rental companies, because car rental companies usually have to have these logistical issues that they need to move vehicles around parking lots from the airport, for instance, from the secondary parking lots to the main parking lots, depending on the number of reservations that they have on each day. And usually they have to move hundreds, maybe thousands of cars per day, like in a big country like Germany, that goes thousands of cars per day that need to be moved between parking lots just to make sure that there are a number of cars on each main parking lots to provide for their customers. And what we designed a solution that where we use a beacon on the vehicle, and using gateways on the parking lots, we can detect the transition between those parking lots. These are not GPS, so it doesn't work outside the parking lot, but we can automate, and using integration with the software, like the ERP of the car rental company, we can detect the movement from, let's say, the parking lot B to parking lot A, and detect as an associated timestamp because we can detect when the car leaves the parking lot and when it enters the other. So we have a initial starting point, final starting date, timestamp, and we then send the data to their software, automating this process because usually is associated with a manual. Someone needs to enter the software and just to say that the car, to register that the car was from parking lot B to parking lot A.
Okay, so it's facility managers, it's fleet managers for car rental companies. And I do think we have a very good image of what Emi2 is able to do: scalable solutions, mass device management, and so on and so forth. What else would you say, Nuno, makes Emi2 extra special?
All throughout our experience, whenever we develop solutions for different customers that have different needs, and every time that we return to the office after meeting a customer, finding out their needs and how could we solve using these devices and combining devices and software to provide a solution to the customer, we return to the office, to the whiteboard, and how can we use or can we develop or adapt our platform to accommodate these user needs without breaking up everything that we develop. So, or do it if you will, in a scalable way. So, whenever you add a different customer that has different needs, you can also use your previous code for that future needs. So in the end, we ended developing a low-code framework that can speed up the development time from weeks or months to hours. So that's our secret sauce, this IoT application enablement platform with this low-code framework.
Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Nuno. Thank you very much for being here today. And we are very much looking forward to continuously working with you, Emi2, and creating new solutions.
Thank you very much, Felix. It was a pleasure being with you here today, and hope that you you enjoyed being here as well.
It was my pleasure. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
So thank you guys very much for joining us today on this interview. If you want to have any more information about Emi2, about Aconno, and the latest use cases, just take a look at the comment section below. And as always, thank you for being with us. Stay with us, and see you next time on Aconno.